Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to Elite Weather. I'm your meteorologist, a student from Mississippi State University Online. My name is Dooley Godot. You guys all know me as Mr. G. Thank you for tuning in tonight for tonight's weather forecast. As we're going to talk about that forecast for tomorrow and the rest of the week, we got to talk about a storm that's going to be making a coast to coast track from the west to the east. So let's jump into all of that action right now. We're going to start off with a little bit from the tropics and in the Gulf of Mexico. We're going to have some action over the next couple of days. We have the remnants from Hurricane Lydia that has moved onshore in Mexico and will track across Mexico into the Gulf of Mexico, where we could see a extra tropical storm system developed in the western Gulf of Mexico, and that is going to spread heavy rain across the Gulf Coast and over into Florida. But let's talk about what we're going to be seeing as far as the development of that storm system and the very heavy rain we're going to see across the Gulf Coast over the next several days. So from Tuesday through Thursday, we're going to be dealing with this storm system right here. This is not a tropical storm, but it does have some tropical components to it and extra tropical components too. So we're going to see a lot of heavy rain and thunderstorms from Brownsville, Texas, all the way over to Jacksonville and then into South Florida as well. So a lot of rain, thunderstorms over the next couple of days down here across the Gulf Coast and through parts of the southeastern U.S. And here is that rainfall where we can see as much as 3 to 4 inches of rain with this storm system through parts of the southeast, so North Florida, southern Georgia, maybe extreme southeastern South Carolina, parts of southern Mississippi and Alabama, and all the way over to New Orleans where we can pick up several inches of rain. And then we can also see some of that rain in the Rio Grande River Valley down there in South Texas, down around Corpus Christi and Brownsville. So a lot of heavy rain across the south, and we got some snow possible through the Rockies. So a little bit of wintry precipitation to talk about in this weather forecast, as we have a storm system that's dropping down from the Pacific Northwest, a nice Pacific storm that developed in the Gulf of Alaska, slid down the British Columbia coast, and now it has made landfall in the Pacific Northwest. And we're going to see that area of low pressure spread snowfall from the northern Rockies down through Wyoming and Colorado, and we're going to see that snow across parts of the northern plains as well. So we can see our first part of snow for parts of South Dakota and Nebraska. So some snow through the high plains and into the eastern Rockies. So a couple of inches for some of you guys. So it's going to be the first snowfall for some of you folks across the plains. You've seen already some snow across parts of the Rockies as well, but we're going to finally see some snow move into parts of the high plains as well. Here we are, we're going to see some thunderstorms. So we also will see some severe thunderstorms along I-80 through Nebraska. Before that snow move in, it's going to be warm enough for thunderstorms through parts of this region where we can see some of that severe weather as we move into Wednesday and Wednesday night. And you're going to be seeing that some heavy rain that's going to lead to some hail and downpours. I don't expect tornadoes with this activity, but some gusty winds, some hail, and heavy downpours with a lot of damaging wind gusts in excess of 60 miles per hour is going to be possible with some of these severe storms. And we're going to see some severe weather Thursday and into Thursday night through parts of the Midwest. So we look at through Iowa and Missouri, here through western Kansas, western Nebraska and through parts of northeastern Oklahoma, which also includes the cities of Tulsa and Bartlesville. We're going to see some severe thunderstorms. But if you're here around the Joplin area in St. Joseph, Kansas City, well, we have a greater threat for some severe weather where we can see some tornadoes possible, some large hail damaging winds, isolated tornadoes, and some very heavy rain that could lead to some flash flooding into parts of the central and southern plains as we head into Thursday and Thursday evening. All right, so our same sad storm system eventually is going to make its way to the east as it gets into the later part of the week. We're going to see this area of low pressure make its way through parts of the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes. So we're going to see rain showers and colder temperatures moving to Minnesota, the Dakotas, Wisconsin, but we're going to see thunderstorms and rain down to the south. So rain and thunderstorms down through parts of the Ohio Valley, Shenandoah, the Mid-South, as well as parts of the Mid-Atlantic. You can see some of those showers and thunderstorms. So we're going to see not really a lot of severe weather, but we will see some scattered thunderstorms affect parts of the Midwest and the Mid-South and the Southeast as we head into the later part of the week for your Thursday, Friday, and into Saturday. So on Wednesday for your day tomorrow, we're going to see that storm system. I'm going to stand over here where you can see where most of the action is going to be taking place right here through the Midwest. So we're going to start to see those rain showers and thunderstorms and some of that severe weather here through the Midwest. There is our snow that we're going to be seeing through the Rockies, parts of western Wyoming there in Montana, and down here into Colorado as well. We're going to be seeing some snow. Several inches is going to be possible for you folks in that region. So we're going to be seeing a lot of wintry precipitation starting to move into the Rockies, but we're going to see those showers and thunderstorms moving into the high plains and the central plains of the Midwest. So a little bit of weather to talk about this week, where last week we had that warm weather, very nice conditions, and it was pretty quiet from coast to coast. We was having a little bit of wet weather from some tropical systems that was affecting the Northeast, but everybody else was having glorious weather. Not the case this week, as we have a little bit of inclement weather and a little bit of agitation in the upper levels of the atmosphere and a much more active jet stream right now at this time. And we're going to be seeing those rainfall potential here where we can see as much as 3 to 4 inches of rain through parts of southern Minnesota, northern Iowa, Wisconsin, as well as to South Dakota and Nebraska. You can see as much as 3 to 4 inches of rain. So flooding is certainly going to be a possibility and a likelihood through parts of the Midwest here in the upper Midwest, where we're going to see some of that wet weather as well as some thunderstorms as well. So as we get into Saturday, now that same storm system is going to be moving into the eastern Great Lakes, and we're going to see an associated cold front and a warm front lifting through parts of the Northeast. And that warm front is going to lift off to the north and east, but it's going to spread those rain showers. But once that warm front passes, that's going to convert to thunderstorms. So then we're going to see rain showers switching over to thunderstorms as the system is going to move to the northeast along the St. Lawrence River Valley there. And we're going to see those showers and thunderstorms. And eventually on the backside of that storm system, we're going to see that cooler, drier air. And it's going to be quite breezy as well, as we're going to see that storm system clear on out and move into the Northeast and New England. But on its heels, it's going to be that colder and windy weather as well. So as we get into your Saturday night into Sunday, a wet weekend for the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast. So from D.C. and Delaware here in Maryland, all the way up to Boston, you got to see some showers and some isolated to scattered thunderstorms as well. But then eventually we're going to see those northwesterly winds come in, sweeping in behind this storm system. We're going to see those cooler, colder winds, and it's going to be quite breezy as well. So a little bit of a nip in the air is going to take the place of that rainfall as we move through the weekend. And then on Sunday, we're going to see damp conditions throughout much of the Northeast, pretty much all of the Great Lakes and the Northeast, from Michigan all the way over to Maine, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick. We're going to be looking at showery, cool, breezy weather. So it's going to be wet and windy, and we have this area of low pressure here right off the coast. So very similar to like a nor'easter there, as that storm system going to be parked off the northeast. So we're going to see those northeasterly winds blowing in, wrapping around that area of low pressure, as that's going to spread blustery weather conditions with that rain across the northeast and into the Great Lakes. And we have our tropical storm that we kind of have, Lydia, that's going to be making landfall. It's currently a Category 3 hurricane with winds up to 125 miles per hour, and that's going to be making landfall near Puerto Vallarta and Mazatlan, Mexico. We're going to be seeing that that's going to be spreading its way up into Wednesday morning. In the morning hours, we're going to see that moving across pretty much the center of Mexico as it's headed to the Gulf Coast to the south, to the Gulf of Mexico, where it will generate a lot of rain and wind along the Gulf Coast as we head through the remainder of the work week. And we're going to see those winds of over 110 miles per hour right in this region right here. We're at Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. So kind of a dead-on strike to some of these vacation spots in these popular vacation zones there in Mexico. So we definitely see those hurricane and tropical storm conditions exist, and those precautions need to be taking place in those regions. And we're going to see a lot of rainfall, 8 inches plus right in this dark green. And we're going to see that 2 to 4 inches in the light green and 1 to 2 inches in the light green there. So a lot of rainfall to be had across parts of Mexico as Hurricane Lydia makes landfall. So Lydia is going to have some wide-ranging impacts there from Puerto Vallarta, Mazatlan, Cabo San Lucas. I mean, these are all the vacation spots and cruise destinations that is going to be taking a head-on shot from Hurricane Lydia. So certainly not a good time for you folks that may be wanting to travel down there. And we will see a little bit of a storm surge. Now, storm surge impacts are going to be much more significant right along the immediate coast where the beaches are. But mind you, there's pretty high mountains right along the west coast of Mexico, so we won't see too much in the way of storm surge making its way inland as we have those high mountains. But along the immediate beaches, we could see some beach erosion with some of that flooding from the storm surge in that region. So that is your weather forecast. My name is Mr. G. From Mississippi State University. I am a student trying to pursue my meteorology degree. I know we got a lot of pretenders out there on YouTube telling weather information without any formal training, just because they know a couple of terms and might have read a few things. They don't know what they're talking about. Don't listen to them. Just come right here for the facts and the real hard truth. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys all tomorrow in the next video. Bye-bye.